Peace, family. This is Inaya. Today I wanted to talk about what is self work. What is self work, and why is it important? Very great question. Self work is essentially becoming the greatest version of yourself and removing all of the toxic, non conducive ideas inside of your head that prevent you from being your greatest self. We are our own barriers to success. Literally, there's nothing or no one standing in our way but ourselves. And that's just the reality of it. That's when you get down to the bottom of it. We are our own barriers to success. And so, what self work does is it's taking an honest look at yourself, the way you operate, the thoughts that you carry inside of your head, the thoughts and ideas that you project onto others, intentionally or unintentionally, evaluating that in full context of your life experience, and then comparing it side by side to where you envision yourself in the future or what your ideal self looks like. Your ideal self looks like someone that you would genuinely bang with. If you met yourself, you would love that person because they are just so amazing in the way that they carry themselves and the way that they project positivity onto others, and just whatever qualities that you admire, you can be. You literally create your own reality. So let's say, you evaluate yourself and you realize that, there are some parts of you that can use some evolution. And this is just it's a process where you have to be honest with yourself. You can't lie to yourself. You just can't, because it'll always come out. You may try to hide it, or you may try to mask and pretend as though everything is all right. But see, energy has this interesting way of always being around, and it will come out. And it may come out as like a microaggression type thing or a self-sabotaging thing, whatever it is. But the idea first is to become aware and to acknowledge that there are parts of you that need some evolving. And you are literally the only person who can do that work. You cannot expect somebody to come into your life and to heal you. It doesn't work like that. Even when you talk about going to see a therapist or a counselor, they cannot heal you if you don't want to be healed. Like, if you realize that, okay, this is what I need to work on, and you make the decision, well, I don't know, I don't want to, it may be too painful to admit, it may be a bruise to your ego, whatever it is, but you come to the conclusion, like, I'm just not ready to deal with that right now. There's nothing that counselor or therapist can do to help you move forward, to help you evolve. It literally starts with you. So it starts with the choice. I want to be the greatest version of myself. Why do I want to be the greatest version of myself? Because that's what provides me with the sense of foundation. It's what allows me, if I'm strong and grounded in myself and I'm confident in myself because I worked hard to make sure that I'm facilitating the energy and I'm attracting the things that I want in my space, then you're in a place to help other people go through their journey. Not to say that you're healing them, because again, you can't heal anybody who doesn't want to be healed, and it's unfair to expect someone to do that for you. So if you're ready to be honest with yourself, then you can grow, right? And what is the tangible things that we can do in order to grow? There are multiple ways to do that, but ultimately it's a matter of reflection. You have to reflect on the ways or the scenarios or experiences that you've had up to this point, up to the present point of your evaluation. You have to pick out what are the things that resonate with you, what were the things that turned you off of yourself. Maybe there were some moments in time where you just didn't feel so great afterwards. Like, yeah, that situation was handled, but I'm not feeling at ease with the way that it was handled, or I'm not feeling at ease with the way that I projected myself to others, or whatever it is. Look at those experiences, take those out, and break it down. Okay, so this moment happened, right? There was a series of events that led up to that moment. Go to the beginning, okay? Very beginning. All right, I was feeling okay right there. I was feeling okay right there. This is where things started to get a little tricky. Literally, you have to play it back and go to the part where you're like, okay, so now this is where I started to feel some kind of way, you know? Or this is where maybe my intuition was telling me something was off, but maybe I chose to disregard or to play it off or to pretend like it wasn't a big deal. And then that led to this happening, and then that led to this happening. But the idea is to find that root point where it started to shift, where you started to realize that this isn't, I don't know if this is, you know, whatever that moment of reluctance or whatever that moment of insight it was that you had but you didn't act on, or the point of conflict, essentially. You look for that moment and then you address that moment. Don't take it personal. As you're engaging in this reflection and you look back at these experiences, there may be some moments that you're not so proud of. There may be some moments where if it were brought to light, you would wither into a puddle of embarrassment and just, I don't know, whatever. You know, there are definitely going to be those moments, but you have to forgive yourself, and you also have to understand that you are only who you are right now. Okay? The past is the past. There is no going back, and you don't have to accept that as your reality today. Nor do you have to accept that as your reality for the future. Literally, if I wake up tomorrow and I'm just like, hey, my name is Anaya now, that's just what it is. What they gonna say? No? Like, you literally create your own reality. So if there's a moment that you're not so proud of, or you feel as though that's not where your values are right now, it's okay. Forgive yourself for that moment. You were in a different space. That's happens all the time, and it's going to continue to happen as you continue to grow and evolve into different spaces. Understand that there is no such thing as a wrong decision. You made a decision, or you were in a situation, and it was all in divine timing. And when you're able to pick apart the situation and get the ultimate lesson from it, because there's a lesson in everything. There's something to take away from every experience outside of just anxiety or embarrassment or whatever, you know, or guilt or shame or anger or fear, whatever it is. There's always something to take away from it, you know? So once you evaluate what that is and you forgive yourself, now you start to resolve. How can I prevent this from happening again in the future, right? You already pointed out exactly where things started to take a shift for the worse, okay? And so once you have that, now it's time to prevent it from happening again, because you've already established that this is not where I'm going with it, right? So then you do that process. And you come up with the solution, you find out what were the indicators, you know exactly where it went wrong, and then you move forward from there. So when that situation happens, or those indicators come up in a future situation, you already know how to handle it. You can identify like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Yeah, no, we don't do this. We don't do this. And you project the solution. All right. Now, whether that solution is the ultimate solution, I don't know. We testing it out. This is something new. Like, it's not new. Like, you've come across this before, but your reaction to this type of situation is going to be new. Just think of it like an experiment. It's literally like an experiment. You're learning. You're a student in all of this, right? Think of every interaction as a learning experience, and it takes off so much pressure because students don't have to be perfect. They're not expected to be perfect. They're expected to come across a challenge. They're expected to problem solve or, engage in whatever it is, and they learn afterwards. They look and see what the result is, and if that's what they were going for, then great. They already know how to solve that solution. Add it to the itinerary, not the itinerary, the repertoire, and keep pushing. Time to learn something else. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't get an answer or you don't get the correct solution to your issue, you don't just be like, oh, well, I guess I'm just doomed forever. I guess I'll just never understand this question. I don't know what this situation is. This just must be how it's supposed to be. Because no, you don't do that. You always keep trying to figure it out until you get it right. And how do you know when you get it right? When you feel at peace. You have your integrity intact at the end of everything. That's the biggest thing ever. Keeping your integrity. Because having integrity means that you are grounded in who you are, and you're not going to stray from that. There's not going to be any type of entity that can come and take that away from you, right? So you protect that at all costs, and you do that by projecting that you are something valuable. You are going to make sure that you protect yourself, right? So that you can continue to be great. You take on all these micro attacks or whatever, however it is you want to visualize it, but you still have to make sure that there's something left after all of it. So it's important to do this self-work so that you can heal yourself, so that you can be strong, so that you can help other people. You can then use the power that you've generated from yourself and use that for good. Use that for peace. Use that for love. All that good stuff, right? So that's why we do self-work. It's not an easy process, but it's very, very much necessary. And yeah, it's all part of the journey again. So let me know what you guys think. Totally open to comments, questions, concerns, all of that good stuff. So just hit us with the comments, and let's get a dialogue going. Yeah. So enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.